Oh my god. It's a sap. It is a sap. Hi. Dude, book club. Book club. Woo, book club. Y'all excited? Book 6? Big long word that I have trouble saying. Otherwise known as the Atonement Chapter. Also, I got so distracted. Because Muffin, you put that in there. Hajimete iru. I hope I did that right. I had to go Google Translate it. I had to go. It's just. Tsumihoroboshi. How am I? I'm good. How are you guys? That was good. Hell yeah. Good. Yeah, I like how we call an antimatter a hoe just straight off the bat. Love that. Oh my god, hold on. Let me try and say hi. Hi, Jose. Hi, Retsu. Hi, Muffin. Hi, Animatter. Hi, Jennifer. Hi. Good shit. Doing good, just cold. Yeah, I feel like that's a very general consensus for everybody. Humu. But yes, so excited. Shit, we gotta try to remember. So last time we got to see from Shion's kind of point of view. We learned about Satoshi and what happened there. We learned a little bit more about the families, the hierarchies, all that good stuff. And now it begins again. Selling movie here for an hour. No worries. Honestly, I'm not sure how long, because like these first chapters, I feel like it can go either way. Like these, because I know in the very first Higurashi book we read, the first chapter took like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But then, like, when we were reading that, like, the very last one, the one with Shion, like, I feel like the first chapter is only, like, 40 minutes, so it could go either way. Is it a horror game? Kind of. It's more of a book. Like, we're not kidding when we say book club. It's a visual novel, so it's going to be a lot of reading. Very psychological horror, if you will. JP, Japanese. Rika, was it? The purple? Yeah, Rika is the short, purple-haired one who is Satoko's best friend and is the only surviving member of the Furude clan, which is one of the 3 leading powers of Hinamizawa. She's also the high priestess, of the shrine, which means she is the only one who can communicate, allegedly, with Oyashiro-sama, the deity of the village. I still think she's got some time traveling power, right? Yeah, we still don't have a clear answer as to what fuck's happening. We got hints. We got a lot of hints in the last book with Rika, didn't we? Cool. Alright, without further ado, let us get in there. Here we go, baby. This is the 6th book. But yes, this is the 6th book in the series. So if this is your first jump in, you may be just slightly confused. What? What do you mean, what? Okay, Atonement Chapter, the first fall. How is your reasoning toward the truth coming along? The next tragedy is very ready for you. I hope you enjoy. This is a humorous story with a tragic struggle at the end. The difficulty is at 0. You can just enjoy the clowns milling about. This dude, these messages at the beginning of each book are just like, they're like, don't worry about it. And then we get in there, we're very worried about it. Can't count? Yeah, it's okay. Because we had Higurashi no Nakukuro ni, which is When They Cry, the very first chapter. I forget all the fucking names are. But like, then we had Mion's book. We had Satoko's book. We had the 4th book. I forget. And then the 5th book was Shion. And now this is Tsumihoroboshi. I can't fucking say it, bro. This is the 6th chapter. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Well, worrying wasn't on the table, but now that you mention... Right? Exactly. Oh my god. Then there's that shit. They pull that shit. Who? Who what? Who what, where, when, what? Oh shit, this is super loud, huh guys? I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how long. Christ. Who? What? What? I was close? Damn it. I think it's because I want to throw an R in there every time. Oh, the pretty colors! You scared the sugar out of me. Oh, fuck. We just started. It's scary. There isn't... But not by, like, the B. I keep wanting to say Baroshi. Like Boruto. In Naruto. Sasuke. It's been 84 years since book club. It really has. It's been so long. Because it was just like... Well, I went a little bit of a break after the big book of... Because Shion, the last book we did, was the first answer book, which I knew was going to be thick and a lot to get through. And so I'm like, let's take a little break. And then I was like, I took a lot of breaks, and then we read a couple other visual novels in there, and I'm like, I need another break from reading. Anyway. We're not going to play Boruto. Yeah. Again. Humorous. Sunset Sunrise. Yes! I like the colors. Alright. The chorus of the Higurashi had replaced that of cicadas. Their cries came from a distance, echoed loudly, and then faded away. They sounded so weak and fragile. Oh my god, this thing still says that the audio is too loud. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. For a book called Answer, I still got a lot of questions. Exactly, bro. That laugh was horrifying. It was. I don't know why they threw that shit in there either. It gets me every day, too. Every time, I should say. The cries came from a distance, echoed loudly and faded away. They sounded weak and fragile. Reina's voice was just like the cries of the Higurashi. She'd say something, but the words would quickly fade away. She sounded so fragile that it made me worry she might vanish into the air along with her words. But nobody is pressuring her to continue. Mion dusted off the hood of an abandoned car and sat down at it as if to show how relaxed she was. She actually did look very relaxed, as if she had come here to enjoy a cool breeze of the evening or something. Satoko followed Mion's example and sat down as well. She didn't look nearly as relaxed, however. I thought about following suit, but it felt rude to look away from Reina, even for a short time it would take to look a place sit down. So I decided to remain standing. Riki-chan didn't sit down either, but she wasn't looking at Reina. Everybody else was looking at Reina, but Rika-chan was looking at the red sky. Rika-chan's expression was hard to describe. She looked pale and blank at the same time, as if all her emotions were gone. Reina wore that same kind of expression. She kept trying to say something, but it seemed like the words were stuck in her throat. She noticed Rika-chan was looking at the sky, so she decided to look that way as well. Mion did the same. So did I. Satoko looked that way too. And with that, there was a silence. It was like we were in a concert hall, filled with the chorus of the Higurashi, a concert hall with all the highest roof in the world. A refreshingly cool breeze tickled our sweaty bodies. I could almost make myself believe we came here to enjoy the breeze and the sunset. I could only wish that was why we came here for. The shadows of the birds flying across the sky soured the feeling of that quiet concert. They reminded us that the time hadn't stopped. Nobody wanted to pressure Reina. We didn't want time to pressure her either. We wanted to keep the cool red sky as long as we could, so Reina could calm down and talk. Right then, I heard a sound, and it brought us all back to reality. The hood Mion was sitting on had made a noise, and she moved to cross her legs. I don't know whether Mion made the noise on purpose or not, but it reminded us that time had been passing by. The noise took our attention away from the sky and back to the ground. Such a tasteless noise seemed to have urged Reina to speak. Reina heaved a small sigh, nodded as if she understood something, and looked at us like she always did. There's one thing I want to say, before anything else. She was probably saying it to everybody, but since I'm standing in the middle, with her looking at me, I nodded to her to represent our agreement. I think I did the right thing. Her voice wasn't hoarse anymore. She sounded just like she always did. I wonder how much we're allowed to struggle in order to be happy. It sounded like a question, but nobody answered. That's why I really like Mi-chan's club. The one rule is to do whatever it takes to win, right? I think that's wonderful. If we were only allowed to do nice things, and if there was a limit to how much we could struggle, people who aren't happy wouldn't be able to seize happiness at all. Misfortunes are like a chain reaction, I think. Once they begin, they're very, very hard to escape. In order to escape the chain of misfortunes, you need more than just luck or even assistance. I think you need to struggle as hard as you possibly can. You need to do your best. That's how you seize true happiness. That's what I believe. Reina stopped talking, looked up, heaved a sigh, and opened her mouth again. But I'm not saying that I expect you to accept what I did. I know that was a very bad thing to do. Didn't you all look stunned a while ago? That tells me everything. I've never seen her smile so self-deservedly like this. That smile looked unbelievably painful. I could really feel how huge the distance between us was. There's nothing physically there, but I felt as if she's talking to us through iron bars or a chain-link fence. That's how great the distance between us was. But it's okay. There's nothing we can do about it. That's just how things are in this world. If I were you, I'd probably look just as stunned, and I'd say something irresponsible or merciless. She probably said that to hit back at us. Or just putting on a mask of sympathy, enjoying the spectacle of a clown on a stage. That's why she said that. She probably expected us to say something in return. But none of us knew what to say. Reina looked disappointed for a moment, then turned and clambered on top of the abandoned car. Then she spread her arms out and gave a little twirl, letting her skirt billow up before she grabbed both ends and gave a graceful curtsy. Well then, are you ready for a story? This is the story of how Reina Ryugyu did her best. There was no curtain or spotlight. She was atop an abandoned car amidst the trash piles, a stage specifically made for her. We tried not to miss a word of what she was about to say. We believed that that was at least we could do to not hurt her feelings. Starts worrying. I said F in it and it started writing a Majora's Mask analog. Oh boy. Oof. Let's say it's winter month, like December right now. Oh my god, guys, it's December! So this one's about Reina? Yes, this one's gonna be about Reina. It's another Reina arc. What would you do if all of a sudden you had a week of hot and humid days with crying cicadas? Would you still wear your coat and a scarf? Absolutely not, right? Even though it's still June? It's already summer to us, since we've been having hot days for so long. So it's totally okay to do that kind of club activity in June. At my school, everybody usually does what they want in PE class, but today would be an exception. All my classmates were gathered in the schoolyard. Mion looked over everybody gathered there, then spoke up loudly. Hey everyone, you ready? Yeah! Rah! They all raised water guns with their hands. It's okay to use water guns in June because it's so hot and humid. All my classmates were joining in, so it's gonna be a big water gun battle. I'm so excited.
It is so exciting to do a club activity with everyone from class. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun to play outside with everybody together. It's going to be fun for them, but we do have to be serious. We can't lose.
Well, yeah, for us club members, every game comes with a risk.
Exactly.
I look forward to the punishment of more careless members are going to suffer. Good luck, everyone. I'm so pumped. Everybody listen up. Did you all check your guns? Are your tanks full?
We're all ready, my Barasan. We're very good at gun battles.
Gremlin Sap isn't real. The Gremlin's back. Yes, sir. I thought this was gonna be Oshi Sap. Bruh, you fucking wish. You fucking wish. It's gonna be TLC. My comments won't go through? Oh no. What? Maybe they're censoring? Are you using a weird word? I'm not sure.
Tomita and his friends play with water guns a lot, so they might have an advantage.
We're different men today.
Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun smiled confidently, holding their guns with a practiced manner. Their skills must give them confidence. They even looked different.
I was by who? Who promised you Oshi-san? Muffin. Psst.
As we all know, Myon is going to be a tough opponent, but I think Satoko and Rika-chan could be too.
Oh, hi, Rusu. Welcome in. Welcome in. What about you, Reina? You can move fast, but you could end up being their target as well, so be careful. You've been losing a lot of games lately and taking most of the punishments.
It's just that recent games weren't really my specialty. But Keiichi-kun, I think you've been losing a lot these days too, haven't you?
Ha 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 ha! You have no idea how miserable I was when I had to go home wearing a bra, and my mom, she saw me right before I was about to take it off.
My last punishment was terrible as yours. I'm ruined for marriage after having to do that.
Satoko laughed at us loudly while we were shuddering at the memory of our cruel punishments we had suffered in the past.
You've been low at both luck and spirit. I know why you've been losing so frequently. That's because, you see, you're both losers.
She's right. Once you get used to losing, you just can't stop. After all those losses, your fighting spirit just fades away. When you can't believe in yourself, nothing goes right, even if you're doing the same thing as everyone else. You! Haven't you realized that Reina and I took those punishments on purpose because we wanted you to spare us that fate? You should be thanking us, not calling us losers. Oh, is that so? I'm very sorry for not thanking you enough then. Ugh. Satoko, you just added oil to the flames of my rage. I'll make you regret what you just said. Oh, that was Satoko talking, my bad. That's the spirit, Kei-chan. This old man hopes you can at least last long enough to serve as entertainment. Reina, you too. You'd be embarrassed if you were the first one to get shot. But I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen.
I too think that Reina-san is going down first. Prepare yourself for a bad time. No, Mi-chan, Satoko-chan, you're so mean. Reina and Keiichi, go for it, yeah. Myon and Satoko laughed at us as loud as they could, then moved onto the tees of their next target.
Was that a Sans reference? I can't believe Sans references Higurashi. What a fucking meta. What a shad. Left alone, all I could do was stomp on the floor in anger. Damn it! I'm gonna win. I can't let them laugh at me like that again.
I agree. It feels bad to have them laugh at us like that.
It's not only how it feels, it's also how they step on my pride. Damn it!
Like Michan said, it might be true that you can't stop losing once you get used to it. That's why we have to win today, no matter what, so we can get even.
Reina's eyes look different. She's usually a funny, weird person, but I know she has determination to do what she needs to. When Reina looks like this, she can be a tough opponent. Team Satoko.
Today, I'll follow the first club rule. I'm gonna do everything I can to win.
Oh, you sound determined. You sound cool. But also as if you've been going easy on them before. Reina smiled. Or maybe you could have called it a wicked grin. She was serious. She was serious about what she had said. I could tell from the expression alone. Among all the club members, Reina is easily the most sensible one. The rule of our club is that you can do anything in order to win, but she's the only one who has moral qualms in doing it. That's why we really have a hard time against her, except for when she snaps. It's rare to hear her say that she won't go easy. Damn it, with a grin like that, you leave me no choice. I have to be super serious about this one too.
I always have to fight with all I have in our club, but I believe there's a time when I have to get super serious about it. I think today is that time.
Indeed.
Yes!
We pounded our fists together. Usually when we really don't want to lose the game, one asks the other to work together, but Reina didn't ask this time, which meant that she was going to try and defeat everyone by herself. No, not try. She was going to do it by herself. Reina looked really cool at that moment, but I wasn't scared. If she was seriously going to do it, I'd have to be serious about doing it too. My fighting spirit had been dented from many losses, but had begun to burn hot once more.
You look good too, Keiichi-kun. You're even scaring me a little. You look like you're going to defeat everybody all by yourself.
Huh, I know that's what you're gonna do too.
That means we're gonna have to fight each other at the very end.
We would, if we were defeated everybody else.
I hope you'll be the last one I have to fight against.
Yeah, me too. We pounded our fists together again. Does everybody remember the rules? You have to call it out when you get hit. Once you're hit, you can't shoot anyone. Even if you did, it wouldn't count. Mion, I'd like to confirm the definition of being hit one last time. When somebody shoots you with the water gun, you're hit. I'll break it down more for you, Kei-chan. You're only hit when it's water from a water gun. In other words, you're not hit when somebody splashes you with a bucket of water.
Only direct shots from a water gun count. I'm sure you're not so scared of Satoko-chan's traps now, huh? I will have so many kinds of traps ready for you. Reina-san, you'll be my first target. I don't think so. You're not strong enough to take me down yet. What did you just say?
Oh, I can't believe Reina gave Satoko tit for tat. This is gonna be fun. Don't you think so, Kei-chan? I don't think so. At least not for you. Because all you'll be doing is choosing which of us is going to shoot you first.
Keiichi seems determined to win.
Mion seemed to sense the fighting spirit in me and Reina. I could tell that she's as serious as we are, just from the way she looks. All right. I like your spirit. Are you all ready to start? Everybody, get to your positions. The ones you drew by lot earlier. Everybody had to draw slots to pick a place to start the game from. It wouldn't be fun if everybody was so close together at the beginning of the game. By the way, my starting position was behind the school building. When I drew the starting position, I thought about hiding until there was the only few people left, like I did in the last game of tag. But a defensive tactic like that wasn't going to be interesting to me anymore. I hadn't been this excited in a long time. My legs were shaking with excitement. It was my first time experiencing that kind of feeling. I could hear Mion's countdown from some distance away. 3, 2, 1. Does she have a gun? A single shot from a toy pistol echoed. Oh, okay. Wait. Team Saphyre. Aww. Undertale Online. Team Muffin. Team Spam. Team Oshi. Goddamn, guys. Pick a lane. Ooh, this is a new track. With that sound, I was already running around the building. There had to be some underclassmen nearby. I'd usually assume that somebody else would have taken care of them, but this time was different. Whoa! They stood frozen in fear as I ran towards them, screaming at the top of my lungs. It took a moment to quickly decide whether to fight or run, and in that moment, I shot one after the other. Sorry guys, you just got unlucky where you started. I felt bad for them because they lost the game so quickly, so I rubbed their heads to cheer them up and then took their water guns. Yes, that was the key factor in the game. You can't put very much water in a water gun. When 10 people around you are in a gun battle, the water would be gone in a minute. I abandoned the gun I used to shoot them, held one of their guns in each hand, and scooped out of the schoolyard. Just as I expected, there was an intense battle happening there. In the short time I took to take care of the area behind the school building, it seems like most of the classmates were already shot. I wasn't surprised, though. I kind of knew it would happen. You need to have a high skill to fight in the open schoolyard, especially when most of the club members were there. It must have been like a battle of elephants versus ants. What is that Mion's holding? Mion was holding a different water gun from the one she had the game started. She was now holding one that looked like a huge machine gun. Its range capability, its pump action shooting, and the amount of water it could hold were way beyond comparison. There was no restrictions on that kind of water guns we could use today. As long as it was a water gun, we were allowed to use any kind. Most of us have normal pistol-style water guns from the local toy store or something similar. I would have brought a bigger one like Mion's if they'd had one, but they weren't in stock. I'd have to order it in. In other words, Mion ordered hers a long time ago, just for today. She always was well prepared when it comes to winning. She must have thought we wouldn't allow her to use a big water gun. She showed it off before the game started. She must have hidden it somewhere. Looks like most of the classmates were shot right after the game started. Only a few were still alive, trying to survive as long as they could. They could by using some heavy construction equipment as a shield. Mion mercilessly shot at them from various angles to make them come out from behind that shield. Stop hiding, cowards! Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were trying their best to resist her attack from behind the shield. It looked like they had no chance against her, but they actually wasn't true. After all, the two of them were the only still alive, because of all the experience in water gun battles. They survived the first few minutes of her assault, even though 99% of their classmates didn't, and they were still surviving at that very moment. Mion, however, is also a battle-hardened soldier. She used the advantage of the big water tank, and gradually, but certainly, drove them into a corner. It was only a matter of time until she broke them down. We're cornered! It's not fair that she has a machine gun! All we have to do is survive until her tank runs low. We don't stand a chance against her when she's shooting at us like this. They tried to hold out against her, but all they could do for now was keep running behind cover as Mion strafed closer and closer to them. They wanted to use their 2-against-1 advantage, but it seemed like they couldn't even get that chance. If they tried attacking recklessly, one of them might get shot, and the other would have no chance of winning. So they grew more cautious, placing their bets on their final chance, but that caused their offense to wane. Of course, Mion saw through their plan. She was purposely provoking them so that they'd lose their patience and start attacking her recklessly. Mion circled around the construction equipment, and now she was standing at the back towards me. If I went up against her machine gun, fair and square, I wouldn't stand a chance. So, attacking from behind would be the only way for me to defeat her. Even though she was in a defenseless position, there was some distance between us. I was still too far away, but it would still be better to attack her now than take her head on. Don't hesitate, Keiji. You won't have another chance again. I stepped up from my hiding place and ran as fast as I could towards her with 2 water guns in my hands. Instead of approaching slowly and silently, I screamed at the top of my lungs. Mion! What? There you are, Kei-chan. Mion seemed a little shocked by my surprise attack, but she immediately pulled herself together. She knew the advantage of her weapon. But she didn't shoot me just yet. She held back, luring me closer. Mion was well aware how much water she had left. If she had the same kind of water gun as me, we would have had the same range capability. So it would have been down to our technique to decide the winner. If she was fighting against one of her underclassmen, she would have defeated them easily. Mion immediately calculated her chance of winning against me and figured the only way she had a chance was to use the advantage of her water gun. She saw the eye of the tiger in me and recalculated her chances of winning in a split second. Really, I can admire how fast she can do these things. I ran at top speed to shorten the distance between us. Our strength should have been equal. I had 2 water guns, full tanks, and she had a machine gun with a half-empty tank. We both waited for the perfect moment. Your fighting spirit deserves my respect, Kei-chan. I'm not sure if I would have been a match for you today if I didn't have this gun. I'm disappointed in you, Mion. Your calculations were off today. Did you say that you thought you could beat me? Because you don't stand a chance. The moment we stepped within range, Mion and I pulled their triggers at the same time. Mion set her sights squarely on me while I was trying to shoot and run at the same time. Her shot would obviously be more accurate than mine. My shot of water flew towards nowhere. Mion didn't even need to duck. But Mion's shot made a beautiful arc straight towards my chest. I could see the line of water coming straight at me, but I was too unstable to dodge. Mion had no doubt that she had got me. You need more spirit to defeat me. I knew you'd be the first to go down. I'm still disappointed in you, Mion. Your calculations really are off today. Bullshit! You can't dodge that shot. It'll go straight through you, and you'll regret the moment you came and chose screaming rather than creeping up from behind. You're really disappointing me today, Mion. You could have figured out that I just spent just one more second to think. You could have figured out the reason why I didn't creep up on you, but screamed as loud as I could instead. Mion noticed my surprise attack and turned around to face me. In other words, she had turned her back on the opponents that she was fighting earlier. Those opponents heard my scream and saw that she had turned her back. What is this? Mion noticed her back was wet and cold. She finally understood that the underclassmen she was attacking just earlier had shown their fangs and attacked her from behind. I blocked her water with my arm, right before it hit my chest. The line of water was broken into droplets and splattered away. Damn it! I got hit first, so my shot doesn't count. You took too long to figure it out. Now get down, Mion. Mion squatted down and covered her head. Now it was me versus Tomiko-kun and Okamura-kun. Their reflexes weren't bad. They knew well that it'd be their next target after Mion was gone. They didn't feel sorry at all for attacking me right after I just saved them from their predicament. I can respect the cruelty and how quickly they shifted gears. They may one day be able to join our club if they keep refining their sense of skill. Our next target is my Bara-san. Let's get him! It's 1 against 2. We can take him. They were, however, 1 step behind me. It was already too late. For them, Mion was their first target and I was next. But I was different. My first target was them from the start. I didn't even see Mion as my target to begin with, because I knew they'd take care of her. I was pointing my guns at them long before they moved their sights from Mion to me. It seemed like they noticed the last moment that both my guns had been pointing at them from the beginning, which meant it was already too late for them. I jumped over Mion, rolled on the ground, and landed on my feet. I looked as elegant as an athlete who had just finished the perfect performance. I had a gun in each of my hands, and with those guns I shot them, each in the middle of their chests. So fast! How could the two of us lose against one? Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun fell to their knees in disappointment. I can't believe you did all this, Kei-chan. I guess I'm off today, like you said. Mion wiped the dirt from her knees, looking frustrated. Don't worry, it wasn't you. Then why did I lose? It's simple. I twirled my guns on the tips of my fingers. I have to win sometimes in order to keep looking cool. This fucking dork. Oh my god. There were only a few people left alive. Reina, Satoko, and myself. Reina and Satoko were fighting fiercely. Were they evenly matched? No. Satoko was pushing her hard. Moving fast, she was driving Reina into a corner. Reina was usually gentle and slow, but today she was different. She was very serious today, and yet Satoko was still overwhelming her. She's a tough customer, even without those tricky traps.
Do you remember threatening me earlier? I suppose you were just bluffing. You move well, but I'm still going to win.
Satoko kept moving around, piling on pressure in order to pin Reina down. She kept shooting, so her tank must have almost been empty, but her shots were still sharp. Her shots were still sharp and fast, goddamn. I noticed a bucket near her feet, which was full of many water guns. I understood seeing that. She had been taking guns from others who were already out of the game. In this battle, reloading water was more crucial than actually shooting. The hole you put in the water in these guns is rather small. To put water through the faucet takes time and requires a certain amount of skill. In a battle like this, it would almost be suicidal. I understand that well, so I've been taking guns from people I defeated, but I can only hold one in each hand. Satoko used a bucket to overcome that limit. Reina looked like she had only had the one water gun. I'd assumed she had two earlier, but she must have used the water during her long battle with Satoko. It looked like she was trying to save her water for the right moment, but with Satoko's fierce attacks, it was obvious that she was only a matter of time before Reina was driven into a corner. However, Reina was also quite skilled. She only pretended to be driven into a corner, but she was actually luring Satoko to a place where she'd have the advantage. There was a narrow, twisting path near the gymnasium warehouse behind the school building. With Reina's water levels running low, she'd want to turn things around with a single, close-range shot. That narrow path was a perfect place for her to do that.
What's wrong? You're slowing down a little. Getting tired? I appreciate your concern, but I'm not tired at all. I think you should worry more about your remaining water. You haven't shot back at me for a while. Your tank's empty, I suppose? If you think so, why don't you try hiding and showing your face? I'll pass. I'm aware you've been holding on to at least one shot. One shot's all I need. I'll be nice and shoot you in the forehead, so you don't get your clothes all wet after all. I never imagined I could have such a thrilling battle with you, Reina-san. However, with the amount of water you have remaining, I doubt you have enough pressure to take the last shot go far.
Satoko was right. Reina had just enough water to make one last shot. As the amount of water left in the tank dwindles, the range of the shots you can make shortens. That makes the last shot the shortest and weakest of them all. Regardless of her absolutely disadvantageous situation, Reina didn't look frustrated. I could tell she had no intention of losing. It was almost like she didn't even see Satoko as a threat.
You picked a perfect location for yourself, did you not? I have to tread cautiously.
Satoko seemed to understand how dangerous Reina's last shot was going to be better than I did, since she was the one actually fighting against her.
I don't play chess very often, but I believe this kind of situation is called a stalemate, is it not?
Satoko took out another gun with a full tank, shortened the distance between them slowly and carefully. A gun with a full tank doesn't only have long range, it also has enough power to make shots more accurate. If they shot each other at a frontal attack, Satoko would have a 99% chance to win. Even so, Satoko was still afraid of Reina's last shot. Satoko shortened the distance even further, smiling as if unafraid, but I could tell she was actually full of fear. Satoko compared this situation to chess earlier, but it wasn't exactly the same. In chess, you can use some pieces to drive the opponent's king into a corner, but in this case, there were only Reina and Satoko. You can lose some of your pieces in order to achieve a win, but Satoko doesn't have any pieces other than herself. A king can't drive the other king into a corner alone. That's called a stalemate. That's why, while at first glance it looks like Satoko has absolute advantage, they're actually on equal footing.
Let us finish this. It's not like us to have to wait for the bell to bring an end to the battle. You're right. Let's do this.
That's strange. I thought Reina would have had moved, just on a dare from Satoko. What kind of plan did she have? Reina had been hiding behind cover for a while, but she came out without hesitation. I noticed something straight away. Reina had a different gun. Satoko seemed to notice as well.
I had a plan to hide it here until the water ran low. I hid a gun in advance.
Damn, she's good. And using a trap at the last moment for a come-from-behind victory, it was as though she was taking Satoko's best skill from her and firing it right back. Satoko no longer had any advantages, now that both of them were pointing their guns at each other with full tanks. But she still looked confident. What was going on? Did she have some kind of plan too?
That gun you're holding right now is very important to me. What do you mean? You would have kept waiting for the perfect shot. It wouldn't have come out of hiding if you didn't have that gun.
At that moment, lightning ran through my brain and I instantly understood the situation. Of course. Reina was at a disadvantageous situation earlier, but it was actually the same for Satoko, since she didn't have a chance to make her shot while Reina was in hiding. Reina had remained cautious in order to hit her with the last shot, and that made it difficult for Satoko to attack her. However, what if Reina didn't need to take the last shot from a come-from-behind victory? No, I said it wrong. What if Reina got a new gun with a full tank? She'd stop hiding and come out to fight against Satoko.
You see, I knew from the beginning that you'd run over there in order to obtain a gun.
Let Satoko talk that crap, Reina. You don't have to listen to her. Just shoot her right now. Reina thought the same thing. She shot at Satoko without hesitation. But she frowned in confusion in a moment. What was going on? Why couldn't she shoot? Was her gun broken? Or did someone else break it?
Didn't you know? You can easily break a water gun by putting a little bit of sand in an empty tank and then pulling the trigger several times. You knew I was hiding my trump card here and pulled a cheap trick like that, huh? I told you. You're only set one small trap at least a moment. That's the beauty of traps.
When it comes to traps, Satoko remained a notch above Reina after all. I couldn't believe Satoko figured out Reina's plan in advance and set up a trap to counter it. Reina, you made a big mistake. You should have kept that old gun with you. You could have at least made that last shot. But it's too late now for you to pick it up again. Reina was in a worse situation than she was before. She couldn't even take another shot.
Be prepared. You told me earlier that you'd shoot me in the forehead, did you not? Well, I'll be the least kind enough to do you the same favor.
Satoko slowly narrowing her distance again, pointing the muzzle at Reina's forehead. Reina still didn't look like she had given up. She still thought this game was undecided.
Satoko-chan, you're not as good as you think you are. What did you just say? If you had got me with your trap, it'd be your right as the winner to allow yourself the room to breathe and smile like you're doing right now. But all you've done is drive me into a tougher spot. You haven't killed me yet. Don't you think it's a little too early for you to act like you've already got me? I thought you were going to say something much scarier than that. It makes no difference, because I'm going to get you right now. If I were you, I'd just shoot rather than keeping talking. You know why? Because if you didn't, I'd lose. Lose? Are you talking about me? I highly doubt you can fight with a jammed water gun. Do you remember the rule? You are hit when it's water from a water gun. Huh? What are you saying? When I heard her saying that, I started running. My target was Reina. Satoko was already dead to me. Why? Well, she was going to get shot by Reina within a second. I have absolutely no idea what you're referring to, Reina-san. What do you think you can do with a jammed water gun? As long as I have a water in my gun, I can still fight. Don't you get it yet? Reina raised her broken gun high up and smashed the handle on the wall of the school building as hard as she could. The plastic broke easily and water flowed out of it. As long as the water from the water gun hits you, you're dead. It doesn't matter if where the water comes out from. Reina was right. She just saved herself by thinking it through. If she was using a real gun, bullets could only come out of the one end of the gun. But this was a water gun. She can make her bullets water, in this case, come out from any place, not just the barrel. What? Satoko finally realized what she was standing defenselessly in front of Reina. Satoko's trap was successful, but she overestimated its effect. She should have just shot Reina without hesitation before Reina noticed, for her new water gun was jammed. She was going to fail because she had grown overconfident by her victory. A second before Satoko pulled the trigger, Reina swung her water gun as if slashing Satoko with a sword. Satoko fired her bullets, but it was too late. A second before Reina was shot down, a blade of water hit Satoko in the face. No, not hit. It cut her face open. Your endgame wasn't good enough. I can't believe I lost. Reina ran towards Satoko, who was standing still in shock, and took her water gun. Reina knew I was her last target, and I was running towards her. Reina! Reina, using her superior mobility, began to duck and weave. We were evenly matched. Neither of us neglected to make any effort possible to take advantage of the situation. I knew it'd end up being a one-on-one battle with you. I knew you wouldn't disappoint me. Huh. I see you're in new light today. I didn't know you had the guts. Rather than a new light, I'd like you to see me in a romantic way. I can try, if you let me win. No thanks. We circled around the construction equipment, trying to take shots at each other. We were both sweating like crazy, but I didn't feel tired. Big drops of sweat trickled down and they ran down my body. Reina just pulled out another gun. Oh my god, be prepared. Hey, yo, Lion King reference too? Yeah. Good god. Rapid bursts of water flew across both our paths. Neither of us had the advantage or disadvantage. I didn't feel elated that I might win or frustrated that I might lose. I was just enjoying the battle with Reina. It was like a dance that I couldn't dance alone. A dance that I could only dance with an opponent. Reina sure is sharp. She's getting serious. It's giving me chills. Keiichi-san is good too. He's evenly matched with her. I can't tell who's gonna win.
In fact, none of the observers could tell who was going to win. Neither could we. We had no idea who was going to win. We had no idea when this battle would even end. I didn't know why, but it was great fun just to fight against Reina. I didn't even care whether I won or lost. In fact, I never even wanted it to end. As we fired at each other, both of our tanks emptied, shortening our range. Inevitably, we became more and more like a melee than a gun battle. We fired out water guns of trying to cut each other with blades of water, swinging the gun like a sword. We both came up with the idea to swing the gun hard to generate a centrifugal force in order to increase the range of our attacks. I dived to duck her shot. I rolled on the ground and landed on my feet. I ducked her shot again and swung my gun like a sword. Who could have imagined that our club's water gun battle would turn into a one-on-one close combat like this? Absolutely nobody. Oh, you think so too, Reina?
You too, Keiichi-kun.
We're both breathing hard, calculating the timing needed to step closer. And then, we both grinned wickedly at each other.
This is so fun! I don't want it to ever end!
Don't hate me if you lose.
No, never! I hate myself for ending the game.
But I know I won't be the one crying in the end.
I don't know about that. Your feet are getting weak, like they're made of straw.
Shut up!
Ah!
Wow. They both look so cool.
My Bara-san, go! Ryuga-san, you can get him!
I became relaxed enough to enjoy the battle, and finally realized that many of our classmates were watching our one-on-one fight. I barely had any water left. I would have to make the next shot count, or I was done for. It seemed like Reina was in the same situation too. The next shot will decide it. I wish we could fill up our tanks and keep on doing this forever.
Well, people enjoy things because they end eventually. Flowers are beautiful, especially because they wither.
I see. That's one way to look at it.
It's been fun fighting against you, but this is it.
Indeed. Sorry, but I'm gonna end this battle.
Good luck, Keiichi-kun.
Don't cry when you lose. Let's do this.
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which one of them won?
The cries of the cicadas echoed in the quiet schoolyard. They sounded like the hand of the watch ticking away the seconds. Neither one of us moved. We took our final shots and now stood motionless. It looked like one of those duels in the Western movies. Who hit the other first? I don't know. I couldn't see. Our classmates broke the silence. They finally realized that our intensely beautiful one-on-one battle was over. Class Prez, what's your decision? Mion in turn realized that she had to deliver a verdict to end the game. But she was just stunned at the others and took her a moment to recover. Mion was taking time to render her verdict. In fact, Reina and I didn't know who won either. My last shot flew fast and splashed sideways as if a blade had cut her chest. I knew that for sure. But at the same moment, Reina's shot hit me in the shoulder. Whoever shot the other first wins. We didn't know if it was me or her. That's why we stood there motionless, waiting for the verdict to be delivered.
Did you see it, Rika?
Oh, I can't tell. Class Prez, who won? Everybody held their breath, waiting for Mion to call it. Rain and I kept staring at each other. The spectators were the only ones who were interested in who the winner was. To us, it wasn't really that important. We had a great battle. We had both really wanted to do better than the other. We both wanted to call it a tie. For this great battle, settling it a tie would be the best and most proper option. In other words, this one-on-one fight wasn't a battle to decide a winner. Seems like everybody's thinking the same way.
Me?
Yeah. They can't move until if you don't deliver a verdict. Yeah. Mion hates to settle for a tie because she loves to draw a line between superiors and inferiors. She tends to settle for a tie when deciding who's the loser because it's more fun to have as many people as possible suffer a punishment. But she's never settled for a tie between winners before. Mion holds a special feeling towards the meaning of being number one. Everybody continued holding their breath, awaiting her verdict. Please make it a tie. Everybody wished for that in their hearts. Mion was hesitating to make the decision. She could have chosen a winner more easily if one of us had did a little bit better than the other. But even if one of us did a little better than the other, I feel like nothing fits better than settling it for a tie. The two of you did great today. Mion finally started speaking. Kei-chan and Reina, you showed us significant spirit and skill today. The explosive power you showed us was beautiful, beyond even the highest praise I could ever give. It's very difficult for me to decide who the winner should be after watching such an amazing battle.
Then, you mean there are two winners?
I don't like to have two winners. That's not really the point of our club. However, they were both so good that it's very hard for me to decide who was better. So, I'm going to call it a tie for today, and they'll have another battle some other time to decide a winner. I expected she might settle for a tie, but I never thought she'd make us have another battle. My bar-san, you were awesome! A tie, yeah, a tie. They were flirting on the battlefield, though. You're so right. You were so cool.
Ryuga-san, that gave me chills. It was like, you know, you set our hearts on fire.
The classmate rushed towards us and praised us for showing them something so cool. Ray and I were finally released from the tension of battle and dropped to our knees.
Too bad. We tied.
Yeah. I can't wait for our next battle.
Can you give me your hand?
Of course. I was going to ask you for the same thing. We both smiled at each other. It was the first time we'd ever hit it off like this.
By the way, you're pretty good at...
Oh, wait. You're pretty good at that.
What do you mean? Mi-chan, you're trying to get away without suffering the punishment, aren't you?
She was just trying to sound cool, but the main reason she delivered that verdict was to protect herself. That's so like Mion, you know? Look, she's even running away. Looks like my guess was right. She's so obvious. The bell rang and a sign that class was over, while we all laughed at Mion. After that...
Good job out there, you two. Here, use this towel.
Rika-chan held out a towel, a big smile on her face. However, Raina and I stepped back and pointed our guns at her.
I was already shot so many times. I was told everybody was already hit, but nobody believes me.
Rika-chan was soaking wet. Well, nobody believed her because she really could be that sneaky, pretending that she was hit in order to stay in the game.
It's your own fault nobody believes you. Sometimes it's hard to believe anything you say. Me? Everybody's so mean to me.
Alright, bye Muffin. Have fun at Japanese.
I feel lonely. I'm lonely, like a poor kitten crying in a cardboard box because nobody wants her. Me.
Boom. The sound came from Reina's head. I saw a circle of smoke coming out of it. Reina must have pictured Rika-chan meowing like a cat in a cardboard box.
Oh! Rika-chan is an abandoned kitten. A kitten. I'm taking her home with me. Ah! Me.
Reina, you're ruining how cool we looked earlier. Reina was back to her normal self and jumped on Rika-chan like a chameleon capturing its prey. Rika-chan struggles to get away. Come on, everybody, back to the classroom. Chie-sensei clapped her hands and yelled at us from the window at the teacher's office. Let's go. Everybody exchanged smiles and ran back to the classroom. me get a sip. Good shit. Chapter 1 done, guys. Woo! Let me save that game. Woo! How we feel it? I suppose nothing so far. Just happiness, but we know how that goes. Sweet! Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Ah, it's good to be back in Higurashi. I'm just sad, like, I feel like I can't do their voices anymore. I'll have to, like, warm back up to it, you know? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Loads of it. I'm excited. I already have, we're doing chapter 2 tomorrow, like I decided. So, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if we'll always do, like, 2 nights of book club a week, but, like, it just felt right, you know? Because we were just getting back into it to do it, like, another chapter right away. But yeah. Alright. Right, so Higurashi tomorrow, and then Wednesday we have Digging a Hole, and then an art stream. Make sure you look at the schedule. I do have some awkward times in there this week. They're not all at 7 p.m., so, you know, just be aware if you do want to hit up a stream. It might be at a little bit different of a time. Just because I had some, like, time off, so I'm like, I can start streaming a little earlier. So, sounded fine to me. Oh, thank you. We'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Satoko's is always so easy because it's just so nasally. Reina's is okay. Mion's is, I just kind of use my regular voice, but Keiichi's I struggle. And Rika a little bit too, just because I'm not used to doing that, like, small of a voice. But yeah, anyways, like, my voice is kind of hurting. I gotta get, like, used to reading again too for so long. So I'm gonna end it here, guys. Like I said, tomorrow, 7 p.m., the next chapter of Higurashi. But if I don't see you then, I'll see you when I see you. Okay? Everyone have a good night, a good evening, and Veil Guards, you are dismissed. Bye-bye.